There's a presence around you. You may not notice it, but it's there, watching. It studies your gestures, your words, even the way you breathe when you're near it. It's not just waiting for your attention, no. It's competing for it, and in such a subtle way that you probably haven't even noticed. You might have noticed from time to time a lingering gaze or perhaps a more enigmatic smile directed at you. You may have even thought it was just a coincidence, a gesture of affection, or a simple act of friendship. But what you don't know is that behind all of this lies a calculated strategy, a plot that goes beyond any friendship or casual affection. This man, with his seemingly calm and collected demeanor, is playing a silent yet powerful game. He doesn't just want your attention, he wants your heart. And contrary to what you might think, he isn't trying to impress you in an obvious way, nor is he putting himself in a vulnerable position. No, he's a strategist. He will act gradually, gently, until you realize that at some point he has become indispensable. The gaze that subtly draws you. In sometimes, you may catch a glance. It's not the usual quick and casual look. It's a heavy, measured gaze that seems to hold something deeper. He doesn't look at you like anyone else would. He looks with a purpose, as if he's studying each of your reactions, assessing your responses, noticing what makes you smile, what makes you uneasy, what draws you in. And the most curious part, when you notice that gaze, it's already gone. It disappears in the blink of an eye, leaving only the sensation that you were being watched, but without knowing why. That's the point. He doesn't want you to realize everything immediately. He doesn't want you to feel pressured or cornered. He wants to create a feeling that you are drawn to him, that he possesses something you can't quite explain, but that is intuitively perceptible to you. The conquest through silence. While most people around you constantly try to engage you with words and gestures, he does the opposite. He becomes intense in silence. He's not in a competition for space, nor for loud voices or flashy words. He observes, stays on the outskirts, and sometimes in moments of silence, you find yourself realizing he is there, in a restrained wait. This silence, this lack of urgency to be at the center of your attention, creates a delicate tension. You start to feel that his presence is unavoidable, and that in some way he is not trying to seduce you with words, but with a calmness that makes you curious. He challenges you to perceive more than what is obvious, to understand that something there goes beyond the superficial. Sometimes this silence is his strategy. He won't force his presence because he knows that when he becomes quiet, it's you who needs to approach, who feels drawn to a space of mystery, and unknowingly, you begin to want to understand more, to try to fill that void with your own quest for answers. The gentle and repeated touch. When he touches you, it's not just any touch. It's not the kind of touch that rushes, that feels impersonal. No, he seeks the right moment, the softest touch, almost imperceptible. Sometimes he rests his hand on your arm as he passes by, almost as if it were a simple coincidence. Other times, the touch is more intentional, but always light, almost ethereal. The intention is never to dominate your body, but to influence your feelings. These touches are like gentle waves breaking against the shore of your perception, time and time again, until you begin to expect them. You don't notice it at first, but later you realize they've become part of your routine, part of what you now anticipate. As if it were impossible not to be closer to him, what's most interesting is that he never forces reciprocity. There's no need for that. He knows that little by little, your body, your reactions, your emotions, will speak louder than any word or gesture. With this, he creates a sense of familiarity, because in some way, he manages to insinuate himself without being obvious, while at the same time becoming irreplaceable. The search for exclusivity without pressure. If you've noticed, he never positions himself in a role of dependency. He's not chasing after you, nor is he following you like a lost dog. He knows that when you feel pressured, the magic dissipates. That's why he creates a space of exclusivity, but in such a subtle way that you don't immediately realize it. Every now and then he invites you to moments where it's just the two of you. It could be something simple, like having coffee alone, or a private conversation. And even in these moments, he doesn't place himself as someone who demands attention. On the contrary, he creates an atmosphere where the attention you give him feels like a choice of your own, something natural. This is his game. Not asking for too much, not expecting anything, just being perceptible and creating an environment where you feel comfortable, yet at the same time, in a space where he is the only option for what you need. He doesn't want to force your choice, but rather create a natural attraction atmosphere, where your options for choice become limited. The challenge of silent trust. As time goes by, you start to notice something subtle. He has the ability to make you trust him. And that trust, paradoxically, doesn't come through words or promises. He doesn't push you, nor does he try to prove that he can be trusted. He allows you to perceive this trust through his actions, and that becomes even more powerful. He gives you space to talk, but he never oversteps. He listens to you, but with a detachment that creates the illusion that he's simply waiting for you to fully reveal yourself. And little by little, you feel you can trust him without quite knowing why. It's a trust built not on words, but on the small daily choices he makes. And somehow he becomes the person you turn to, the one who silently becomes your reference. If you've ever experienced this, you know how disconcerting it can be. Trust isn't forced, but gradually you feel that, without noticing, you are trusting him more and more. And this trust, when nurtured, takes root deeply. The subtle manipulation of time. He is a master at silently manipulating time. Not time in a direct way, but the feeling of time you have with him. Somehow, when you are by his side, time seems to stop, or maybe it stretches in a way that makes you want more. In crucial moments, he knows how to be there at the exact moment you need him most. He doesn't act impulsively, but with a calmness that envelops you. He doesn't pressure you to act immediately. He understands that when time becomes something valuable, you tend to chase after it, and he, with a serene smile, allows time to settle in his hands. These small adjustments in time, in how he waits for you, in how he presents himself, create the feeling that he is always precise, always striking the right moment to appear, to make you see something you may not have noticed before. The game he's playing is deeper than any type of achievement you've experienced so far. He's not just trying to gain your attention, he's attempting to conquer your perception in a way you don't fully understand yet. And he knows that the moment you realize what's happening, the game will be almost over. Have you noticed? Maybe as you read this, something has started to stir within you. A feeling that the pieces are starting to fall into place, that some previously invisible details are beginning to take shape. A gentle breeze of perception might have brushed against your mind, but you're still not sure. Because deep down, he will never let you see everything at once. He plays with shadows, with empty spaces, with unspoken moments. Have you noticed? Have you felt the subtlety with which he insinuates himself? Or is he still quietly shaping himself before your eyes, while you remain unaware of the depth of his strategy? The game, up to now, seems to be just a dance of small movements, but he knows exactly what he's doing. He never loses his way. The price of attention. What if I told you that the price of your attention is in fact what he desires most? It's not your love, it's not your friendship, it's not your energy, nor even your complicity. What he truly wants is for you to realize that he's there all the time, that he can slowly become something unavoidable in your life without you having recognized him as such until now. The price of your attention isn't paid with words. It's paid with your time, with your mental space, with your emotions. He's going to seduce you not by force, but by patience. He'll invite you slowly to leave others behind and to choose, without haste, his presence. What's most intriguing is that he knows that by the time you realize what he's done, it will already be too late. When the game reveals its face, he will have become an irreplaceable part of your emotional routine. You will already be, in some way, connected to him without knowing how or why. So, what do you do? How do you deal with this? How do you react when you realize he played his cards so expertly without you ever suspecting? The key lies in a choice. The effect of absence. Now a bolder move, almost like a final play. He makes himself absent, but not in the way you expect. He doesn't vanish suddenly. He doesn't disappear without warning. No, he creates a calculated absence, like a fine thread that stretches and stretches until you begin to notice something is missing. For a moment you miss him, but you don't quite know what it is. It's not that he left you, but that by vanishing for a bit he forces you to look into the emptiness, into the space he filled without you noticing. And this makes you feel the need to call him, to bring him back. He knows this. He knows that by creating a calculated absence, he will awaken in you an unsustainable desire to have him closer. This absence isn't a withdrawal, it's a preparation. He creates a lack that makes you want to fill it, without realizing that by trying to fill the void he left, you end up putting yourself even deeper into his game. The mirror of your vulnerability. Now that you're at the center of his strategy, what will he do next? He approaches you again, but this time not to provoke. He will touch on something deeper. He will seek at his own pace your vulnerabilities. He will observe you with a precision you never thought possible. He won't attack your confidence directly, but he will become the mirror in which your insecurities are reflected. He'll make you aware of your own fears, your doubts, those things you don't tell anyone but that somehow become visible only to him. He will never do this aggressively but subtly, through small provocations, piercing gazes, and words that touch your soul. This is the crucial moment, the moment when he will delicately touch your vulnerability. He knows that when you feel exposed, when you feel at the mercy of your own insecurities, that's where he will reach you. Because in that state, you can no longer discern where your autonomy ends and where your emotional dependence on him begins. You start to realize that what he truly seeks isn't to win you over in an obvious way, but to manipulate your own perception of who you are. He will show you a version of yourself that you never wanted to see, and that will leave you in a state of fragility that he will masterfully control. The game of controlled confusion. Now that he has your attention, now that he has secured a place in your heart, he enters the final phase of the game. He will confuse you, not in an aggressive manner, but so gently, so calculated, that you will barely notice you're being led along. He will approach you and then pull away. He will be affectionate, yet distant at the same time. It will feel like you're moving forward and backward, but without understanding where you're really going. He wants to disorient your perception of what is real and what is imagined, of what is possible and what is fantasy. When you find yourself in a state of confusion, he will be the only clear thing. He will become the focal point amid the chaos he created. And when you feel lost, he will be there, ready to guide you, to bring you back to his strategy in such a way that you will never notice where it all began. And when you finally realize what he has done, you will have given so much of yourself that it will be almost impossible to break free. Now the question that won't go away, are you going to keep playing this game? Or will you finally see that he has already won? With every move he makes, with every subtle glance, you get closer to the truth, but something still holds you back from seeing clearly. Maybe it's the fear of facing what's right in front of you, or perhaps deep down you have doubts about what all of this really means for you. What is he doing, and why does it seem so hard to escape this silent web he has spun? What does he truly want? The game is no longer just about capturing your attention. It's about making you realize that something is stirring deep within your being, something you try to ignore but can't. He has made you question who you are when you're around him. He has planted seeds inside you, and now they are starting to bloom in ways you can't control. What's most intriguing is that you find yourself in this uncertain place, this delicate balance between desire and doubt. You feel drawn to him, but at the same time you're uncomfortable with the idea that you're not in control. And deep down, that's exactly what he wants. For you to realize, without immediately noticing, that the game was never really about him. The game is about you. Have you noticed that somehow he has led you to this dance? That your life now revolves around decisions you didn't even know you were making? He never forced anything. He never imposed a direct request. He simply guided you silently, making you feel like the choices were in your hands when, in truth, he has always held the control. Now, you stand on the brink of a major realization. You've come close enough to feel that something is about to happen. What will you do when you come to this understanding? When the truth finally reveals itself, will it be too late to turn back? This journey is not over yet. What you have perceived so far is just the surface. In the next video, we will explore how you can break free from this silent game and take back control of your perception. Click here and come with me to discover what no one has told you about the true conquest of the heart.